Without further ado, I'm going to introduce our guest panelists today. One of the things that I absolutely loved about our panel is because when I totaled, and I've been saying this on social media all throughout the promotion of this, as a total, they have 60 years of marriage between them. 60 years, that's a long time. And you just think, none of us are near 60 yet, I hope. No? Okay, great. And I think that's just amazing. And I think for me, it's all about learning from them and just gaining some wisdom. It's not everything you might agree with, but I'm pretty sure there's something that you will take on board. All right, so I'd like to invite the senior pastors. They've also got a book out, or 2 books between them actually, or maybe more. The senior pastors of the Rock Church in Stratford. Please put your hands together for Pastor Benga and Pastor Salone Ajewole. Very sparkly, yes. You know it's going to be a bright night tonight. Okay, secondly, I'd like to invite another couple. They're both singers. They're going to introduce themselves. They're amazing, and they've also just started up a church as well. God is raising a lot of churches, amen. Please put your hands together for Cliff and Marie Reed. Okay, and then last but not least, our next guests, they're also the senior pastors of the Ark Church in East London. Who's from East London? Ooh, I shouldn't really do that north-south, right? We're all one. We're all one, aren't we? Yeah, we are. But anyway, put your hands together for Pastor Peter and Pastor Karis Nemba. Okay, yeah, you see. Ladies first, you see that? Yes, we do. See that? So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming today. It's an absolute pleasure to have you guys with us today. So, like I said, one of the reasons why... Oh, before I go on, there are some pens and paper on your table, and please write whatever questions you have. Write them down. If it's, you know, as it's easy, as hard, as deep, as sensitive as you want it to be, it can be anonymous, and then the ushers will come around and take it off the table. So please, 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 if you have anything that you want to ask tonight is the time to do it. Is that all right? Yeah? Okay, cool. All right, so we're going to get right into it. So, like I said, tonight is about, you know, married, now what, after you said I do. So what I'm going to get my guests to do is they're going to introduce themselves, and they're going to tell you how long they've been married for and just a little bit about themselves. Is that all right? Yeah? Okay, so we'll start with you, Pastor. Pastor Benga and Pastor Salone.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Pastor Benga. This is my wife, Pastor Salone. We've been married for 11 years, 12 years soon, and been together for 18 years. Blessed with 3 boys, latest one there. And we pastor the Rock Church, which is in Stratford, East London.
Hi, I'm a sleepy mum. So take your time before you pop them out, because you can't put them back in afterwards, amen. But I'm in love. I've been in love for 18 years, and it's a good thing. With little or much, I would choose you every time. You've got a lot to live up to now, alright? But no, it's good. I'm a co-pastor of him. I believe it's a call. I grew up near Harlesden. I say Wembley for you, but near Harlesden, and I thought when the call came, God must have had the wrong Salone. It must have been another one. But he uses anyone, and he's taken us on a very long journey with a major transition from the world to his way of doing things. So, pastor and a psychotherapist as well. And happy and gracious to be here. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. Yes. Okay, Cliff and Marie?
Hi, my name is Cliff, and we have been married for 20 years. We have... This will be even bigger. We were at 20 years. We have 3 children, 18...
And no more.
18, 15, and 13. We run our own business, graphic design company. We also sing together. Some of you may have heard us sing together. No?
Yes.
A couple of people? No. Blank faces. Y'all don't listen to Premier Gospel, right? Or Lady T doesn't play our music often enough. But hey, that's another.
Wow.
No, but we are praise and worship leaders. We've got albums, singles out as well. We also, I'll leave some for you to say. What else about us? Yeah, that's about it.
Some of it. We've also created a card game for couples called My Truth, which is a conversational card game for couples. Probably, it's not quite a sex game, although that's the rumour that's going around at the moment. But anyway, do what you want with the game, you know? Whatever you do at home, that's your business. But probably about 3 months ago, we had a husband say the game actually saved his marriage. So they actually sat down and really got into some really good conversations. So really grateful to God for that inspiration. And I've also written a book. It's called Trilogy Fifth Dimension. It's a biblical action adventure for children. My children are the three main characters in the story. There's a sacred Bible in the house. They're not allowed to touch it. They touch it, they get sucked up into it and end up running with Moses and hiding from plagues and seeing angels and all kind of crazy good stuff. But it's all biblical and it's a lot of fun. So we really want to heal relationships and marriages and, you know, bless our children, everybody's children.
Amen.
Oh, yeah, we've also just started pastoring as well. We started in February, so we just launched our own ministry, so it's pretty full on with that as well.
Wow, it's a lot. We'll get a lot to know. Okay, Pastor Peter,
Hi,
Karis.
I'm Karis. Is it on? Oh, right. Oh, thank you. Well, hi everybody, I'm Karis. We've been married for 29 years. 4 children. I work in the church 3 days a week. Well, it's supposed to be 3 days a week, but sometimes, okay, can you do this, please? But I really enjoy it. I enjoy it. I love it so much. Yeah, I think that's about it.
Yeah, so I'm Peter. We got married. I was 21 when I got married, and I got saved in '87, and a lot changed in my life in '87. And I met Karis also the very same year that I got saved. She had been in church all her life waiting for a husband. No, it's true. She was praying about getting married because she's older than me. So she was praying about getting married, not realising that her husband at the time was in prison. And when I got saved in 1987 and met Karis, we got married 2 years later in 1989. So
Come on.
you're here single, you don't know where your husband is right now.
Oh, Pastor Peter.
But yeah, we pastor, as Karis said, we married, next year is our big 30th, and I pastor the ARC churches. We have 5 different churches across London and one in Birmingham and Essex as well. So yeah, thank you for inviting us to be here.
It's a pleasure. Thank you guys. It's so round of applause. Amazing, right? All right, so I'm going to touch up on a few things that, for each of their lives. I'm going to start with Pastor Peter because of where he started from. Yes, they've been married for nearly 30 years, which I think is an amazing milestone. Like 30 years. Wow, some of us have not even gotten to like 1 yet, you know. But you mentioned something about you being, you know, in prison and then meeting Karis. Can you just tell us a little bit about that and, you know, how being in prison, what that did to you, and then how you came to Christ and then coming out?
So my whole teenage life from 13, so I first went to prison when I was 13, and then went to prison when I was 16 and did 2.5 years. But that's where I met Jesus, and then I came out of prison. My best friend got stabbed to death, died in my arms, and that was the last thing that kind of pushed me into the church. But when I came into church in 1987, March 1987, everything just changed that year. I passed my driving test, got my first ever job, went to Bible school, met Karis in the September of that year. And yeah, but when we met, I met her at a conference. I was not looking for a wife because my mind was, I'm going to be an evangelist, travel the world. But we met, and I'm very social. When I meet people, I exchange anyway. But we just became very, very good friends over the phone for a long time. Yeah. And then that friendship grew and deepened. Then she asked me to marry her, and
You too, right? You
no. Sure. I started to like her and had a feeling, but I wasn't sure whether it was mutual. So I spoke to my pastor and I told him that there's someone I'm feeling like I've got feelings for, but then I had to find out whether she had the same feelings, and I had to do it in a way that, without telling her how I felt, because I didn't want to get rejection. I didn't know that then, but so I gave her a little puzzle, which she worked out. It was, I don't know how many books in the Bible Songs of Solomon is. So if it's the 14th book, and then the 3rd chapter, and then the 3rd verse. So I gave her these numbers. She worked it out, and it said, "You are my beloved and my friend."
Oh, hey, that's some kind of romantic stuff right there. What?
That was the way I told her that I liked her.
Wow. So, for soon to be married ones, guys. Wow. Yeah, Bible research, right? My gosh. Okay, wow, fantastic. So to you, Pastor Karras. Now, I have to ask, his background, did that put you off? Because obviously, he's coming from, because of his background being in prison, and then nowadays when the guy says, "Oh, I was in prison," it's like, no. Sorry, bro. No. So what was that like? Did that play on your mind? Did it bother you?
No, well, I have to say, let me just go back to a little bit. While he was in prison and in the world and that, I used to pray for him. I didn't know who I was praying for. I used to pray to God for my husband. God knew who my husband was, so I was praying for him then. I didn't really feel any way about him being in prison, because God can change anybody. He's a testimony today of what God can do in someone's life, so I didn't really have that in my mind.
So what would be your advice to someone who, if either the man or the woman has some kind of deep past, prison, or they've done something really bad, what would be your advice?
I'd say do some research, especially this day and age. Just do some research. Yeah, definitely do some research on their past. And pray about it as well. Prayer is the number one key. Yeah.
Can I just say, I think, this is not a boast or anything, but I think when Karras met me, I was completely on fire for God, completely sold out for God, just totally radicalized and changed. So it's not like I would come out of prison and I was still struggling here and there. Do you know what I mean? I was fully full on for Jesus, etc. So it was, she had no choice.
Wow, amazing.
There was actually a couple of other people on the scene at the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
There was, wasn't there?
Yeah.
There was? There was.
Finding out now.
My bus came in first.
I love it.
When Mum used to tell her, what's he say?
Never run after a bus or a man, because there's always one behind.
Wow, okay. A real word indeed. This is serious. Okay, brilliant. All right, so we're going to talk about adjusting to married life, because there's a lot of things we want to go through in terms of after you've said the I do's, and everybody's there, everybody's come and dance, they've danced with you, they've sprayed money on you, what else have they done? They've eaten, and maybe your frenemies might have been there as well, because they are there. So now we need to talk about, after everything is said and done, what happens next? And I think one of the main things is adjusting the first few, the first few weeks or the first year of marriage. So I'm going to come to you, Pastor Wenger. How was adjusting to married life for you? Especially as a man.
As a man.
Yes.
I guess for me, it was okay. I think we dealt well, because for us, we had such a good friendship. That was the basis of everything that we started. So for us, marriage, even when I proposed to my wife, she just came out of university when I proposed. So, and she was a bit nervous about getting married. So I said to her, look, this is just a continuation of our journey, of our friendship, and there's no one else in this world I would rather do this journey with you. So for me, when we got married, it was just a continuation of who we were. Obviously now we've got bills, we've got a house, we've got all this kind of stuff. I'm leaving my socks everywhere and that kind of stuff. But we didn't really argue in the first year of our marriage. It was tough. but not that tough for me in a sense. You have to adjust. I mean, I grew up as an only child, so now being with someone, you're responsible for someone else now.
Right.
Now someone else can see your bank accounts, and you know, when you go to work and you're bringing the money, now someone else can spend it for you. So I have to adjust to that element of things, I guess.
Okay. And so real quickly, how did you two meet?
We didn't meet at church.
In church, we didn't meet in church.
No, we
On
met
the altar.
we met at a house party in northwest London, and you were banging on the wall to reload the track. So you can see God's done a work. Yeah, it's not a fairy tale, not by any means. But we had a year of friendship, and I think that's what made us as solid as we are today. None of us saw what it looked like to be married. We both come from broken homes. I come from a home with domestic violence, and my husband, his parents divorced early, so we never saw what this looked like. For it to, it's funny, I look at our boys now and I think, you don't get it. We didn't have another parent to go and ask when one had said no. You know, and you will never get it because it will now be your new normal. We will break the generational curses and we will do better, we will make better choices. The first year, was that to me also or no?
Yeah.
It was a big adjustment. I was a mummy's girl. If I'd have a nightmare, it was me and my mum up until a long time. Up until I was 23, if I had a nightmare, I'd sneak in her bed. It was just me and her. My brother and sister had moved out. When I was leaving, it was very difficult for her also. She stood at the window crying, like, my baby's going. And I said, Mum, if you want, I'll stay. I didn't mean it, of course. Mum, are you sure you want? And I remember driving because we were going to move from Wembley all the way to Kent. And I remember one drive alone. I had to drive alone, and that was hard. I cried. But there was a lot to adjust to. But I think our mums did a good job in raising us. But it was slow. You had to be patient, and you had to compromise. It couldn't be your way or the highway. If you like green grapes, sometimes you may have to buy the red and the green together. So there was a lot of adjusting, a lot of compromise, a lot of learning and relearning. We knew each other in courtship, 7 years or so, but we didn't know what it was like to live with each other. And we had to take that slow and work through the kinks.
Wow, okay, awesome. Cliff and Marie?
So, Marie fancied me for years.
I knew he was going to say that.
You know, at convention and conferences, she'd always be running me down, chasing after me. You understand? Yeah, you know. Yeah. So I think that back to in all seriousness, she did run me. No. To be honest, when we started, I actually liked Marie's friend.
Oh.
And this isn't supposed to go further than this room. This is just our little secret. So I like Marie's friend. I was like, Marie, hook me up.
And I'm trying to set him up, you know.
Wow. Hook me up. But she wasn't having it. I was like, Marie, what's going on? So then I start telling Marie, well, why is this? And I think because of that, we became closer. We became friends, and our friendship grew. So when that didn't work out, our friendship was years went by, and our friendship was just so solid. Till people used to see us, they used to call us each other our shadow. Oh, where's your shadow? Where's Marie? Where's Cliff? Where's Marie? And we wasn't even singing then. We were in music. We were doing music together, choirs and stuff like that. But it wasn't until did we have an argument? We had an argument. Disagreement.
A heated fellowship.
And then all these females was like, oh gosh, it's only Marie. Well, it's Marie. She's my mate, isn't it? She's my mate. And from then things just began to bubble and it just got stronger and stronger and and I saw Marie in a different light. And so that's when things progressed further. So when we actually got married, running a few years, when we actually got married, I was very nervous. I tried to live the whole marriage in the first year. Try to do everything. No, we're going to be married. No, how are we going to do this? How's this going to happen? What's this going to... And Marie just said to me, let's just take one day at a time.
Yeah, he started to scare me.
Yeah, I got scared myself. because of the friendship we have, I just thought, yeah, we're friends, and it did continue when we got married. It was a continuation, as you said, it was a continuation of our friendship, and it was just about having fun, and we had fun, but at the same time, there was that serious element of like, how are we going to do this for 10 years? How are we going to do this for 20 years? How are we going to that was me, it's like trying to think the whole thing through.
So wait, the role was reversed.
Yeah.
So usually, because it's the woman who's all like, you know,
I'm a logic, so it must logically make sense.
Wow.
And I've got to logically work it out. How is this going to work out for me, and what do I have to do? And some Marie's just like, sometimes you just have to just walk by faith and just trust God and take it one day at a time. And it's just like, okay. And so every day we just took it one day at a time. Made mistakes, like, let's get back, let's go again. You know, things didn't work out. So and it was just like one day, one time till, 20 years later, we're still here.
Wow, amazing. Okay, Pastor Peter? Adjusted to marriage.
The biggest adjustment was, the biggest one was Karis asking me, where am I going? And having to tell her, I'm going here and when I'm coming back. And I remember early years I used to say, I'm not in prison, you know. And I used to say, like, you're not my mum. And so it took a long while. So sometimes I'd really get upset and I'd get in the car and just drive. I remember driving up to the Docklands before everything was there, like staying at Canary Wharf, and just driving by the water and just looking at it, just hitting the steering wheel, I have to tell her everywhere I'm going. And it took me a long time to understand that whole accountability, that whole security for her.
Yeah.
That was my big adjustment, actually. Because to be honest with you, when I got married, we were friends, we fell in love. I didn't even think about it. I don't even remember much of the wedding. Like, she did everything, kind of thing. Because, honestly, we didn't have no premarital counselling. There was nothing like that. It just happened. So there was no one sat me down, told me what to expect and what was going to happen, bills or anything. So I just went into this world. But that was the main thing I had to deal with, like being accountable for where I am and when I'm coming in, and I had to adjust to it.
Awesome. I think one of the key things I've heard all of their story is friendship. It seems like it's a really, really big thing, So how long should you be a friend for before making that move? Because some people want to be friends for too long. How long is too long?
I think it varies from individual to individual, because we didn't actually specify, we're going to be friends for X amount of years and then we're going to get married. For us, it was a natural evolving, and because we were friends from early teens, really, from either we were friends, and it gradually evolved.
Mm-hmm.
So how long were we friends? 7 years? But you're not going to wait 7 years, but you could have like my friend, he got married last year, he was in his early 40s. In his early 40s, and he got married last year, and they've only been friends for about 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
So basically, it's a case of if when you know, don't wait.
And I think that friendship, it has to be solid, it has to be rock solid. But he was mature as well. He's 40 years. He's been mature. They were both mature, about 2-3 years apart. But they were developed, so not immature in their stage of life. So they didn't really need to take that long to get to know each other.
Okay.
I think also it's important to go through the multiple seasons of life with each other before you get married. To see each other, because I think sometimes when people court in courtship, they put up front, they will show their best side. I mean, when we were courting, that's when I went through my transition to become a Christian. We saw friends being buried, we saw family members being buried. So you saw each other at your highest and your lowest. And it's important to know that person will pick you up when you're low, and then you can do vice versa. So I mean, our in-laws, they knew each other for a few months and they got married, and how many years now? 18 years married now. So it just depends on the maturity of the people.
Yes.
But we were friends for good 6-7 years before we got married. Because we had to go through some stuff, and I had to go through some healing myself as well, before I can, step into marriage.
Okay, should we talk about this healing thing? Because I know I'm going to bring this in now real quickly so we address it. Okay, so and some of you may have seen this whole Pastor John Gray video talking about his wife and his covering and stuff like that, and he just said something about healing. And for him, when Pastor John Gray was talking about, you know, his marriage to his wife, he said that he thought he was whole, but he really wasn't when he was in marriage, and his wife had to cover him, and then she birthed the man that was in him, and that got a lot of people's backs up. So, in your opinion, and I don't think not everybody has seen it, but Pastor Salones, I know you've seen this. What is your take on that? Was he wrong for saying what he said? Were people right to get their backs up? You know, like should the women really be covering him?
I think I haven't seen it in its entirety, so let me make that disclaimer first. But from what I did see, he said that she had birthed him and that she was an oversized coat that he had to grow into. And I think in the Christian world, we kind of get that what he's trying to say is she cared for me, she looked after me, she helped me heal through my process. I think what got a lot of people's backs up was the notion that the black woman is again picking up the slack for the black man. Why can't the black man get it together? That's not how I saw it. Knowing that this life is a journey. None of us come together whole, none of us come together perfect. And I'd like to know that you'd pick me up as well if I was struggling. And we even talk about in the book, there are gender roles that swap sometimes. There were times when I was in work, and because he was pursuing ministry, I would be the main breadwinner. It's what you have to do for your family. So if that works for his family, and he is able to offer that same healing to her when she needs it, I say kudos to them. If it's working for them, that's fine.
Amen. Just to touch on that as well, I mean, what's in the back room, I mean, Pastor John Gray is someone that I've met before, and I know his heart. His heart is not just to say things like, oh, I'm not man enough. The key thing was that a lot of us as men, we are broken, and God will bring the right woman around to you to help you heal. I found Christ through my wife. One, I went through a lot of my healing from the things that happened to me when I was younger with my wife. In fact, there's some things that until I met my wife, no one else alive knew about me. So when you find someone you can trust that they can help you heal. So I think that's what I meant by that. It was birthing. She helped me become who I am today without her. Because, I mean, look, before I met my wife, I was going out with girls who wanted to buy the latest car.
You what?
When I met my wife, I was looking at 9 years in prison. So and people out around me, they were in a way conducive to that kind of lifestyle. So I think for a lot of us as men, it's not that we are not men enough, but God will bring people around you, especially a woman around you, to help you become who you're called to be. It's not about you being weak. It's not about you being weak. When I first came to Christ, I would go to your God channel. I'll come to you and watch God channel all day because again, I was at that fire. All I wanted to do was just soak up the word of God, and she allowed me to do that. Other girls would be like, no, why you what? She allowed me to do that. So kudos to all the amazing women in our lives that help us to become. Amen. I think that's the be better than the common man.
Okay, so to you, Cliff, Cliff and Pastor Peter, how important is it for a man to be vulnerable? Because when a man shows, like, his soft side, or he cries, or he sheds it, he's seen as weak. But in a marriage, how important is it to be vulnerable to one another, and how did that help your marriages?
Well, I kind of always believe my one mantra in life is just to keep it real, just be who you are. So I think in my marriage, Karis has seen me cry more times than I've seen her cry. I cry. If I need to cry, I cry. So, yeah, I just think vulnerability, being real and true to yourself. I don't like all the pretense and putting things on, because I see people do that. They get married and then they try and present something to people, and then a few months down the line or years down the line, it all breaks apart and it looks really bad. So for me, I've always keep it real.
Yeah.
That's why I think personally that friendship thing is really important. having that friendship, so we carry that into our marriage. The difference now is we can have sex.
Come on now.
So like it is. Okay.
I was just setting up Cliff and Maria.
But you could.
So yeah, so just being yourself. I'm a vulnerable person. That's naturally who I am. I tell it as it is. That's how I am with my church. That's how I am with my friends. That's how I am with people. So it's how I am at home.
Okay. Good.
I think I agree with that statement. I would say I'm quite transparent, and I'll tell you if I'm hurting. I'll tell you if I might take a bit longer to tell you.
Yeah, you might go to the man cave.
Go to my man cave. What's that? No. But I've always been real, and if something hurts, I'll tell you that I'm hurting. But I'll do it in my own time. I think sometimes men want to give the pretense that they are okay, nothing, I'm a macho man. Inside they're broken. And so sometimes as going into a relationship, you have to just put your cards on the table and say, look, this is who I am. I'm not going to put a pretend lifestyle that I've got it all together. And I said to, even in fact, to be honest, when I had to go to Marie's dad and to ask for her hand in marriage, that was just like hell, It was just like, oh my God. And the first thing was like, you have any money? How much money do you have? That's the first thing he asked me about the money. It was just like, I don't have any money. It's just like, oh God, I just don't know, but I'll work hard, I'll do my best, I've got a couple of shares there and there. But I was just real and open, and I think Marie saw that, just being genuine as well, because it doesn't last. If you're pretending, well, and that's why I think somebody else said it, you have to see your spouse in all seasons. You have to see them when they're angry. You know what I mean? Because how do they deal with it when they're angry, when they're upset, and you see a temper, you think, You don't want to be seeing that when you're married. And if you haven't seen it, you need to see it. It's got to be real. I don't know if I should say this as well.
Don't say that.
Your husband should see a woman without a makeup. But that's another. In their natural hair as well. Take them swimming. Take them swimming. You got to see it real, I mean, I've had some nightmares. They wake up the next morning, first eyelash gone, weave gone, the eyes, it wasn't their eyes, it wasn't their lips, and they went to divorce. Seriously, they went to divorce, but they were out of it, But anyway, but being real, sorry, I had to put that in. But coming back to being real and just being open and just say, look, this is me. I think that's the winning, one of the winning strategies.
Okay, cool. Is that helping you guys? Yeah? Awesome. All right, cool. So it's got quite a few things that we want to talk about and get through. Right, we're going to go with this in-laws, because there are some in-laws from hell. As much as we love them, some of them can be interesting. So how is it dealing with your in-laws, Peter? Because obviously your background and then Karis, they must have seen some kind of like, I don't know, if even though you are in Christ, I'm not quite sure you're for my daughter, I don't think I can let her hand and go. How is it, the relationship with the in-laws?
Karis's dad wasn't around, so mum, I've had no problems at all in 30 years with her. She's got a story.
Oh. Okay, go on.
Okay, his mum used to I don't know if she saw me as, it's good that she saw me as her daughter, but it was too much of a daughter, do you get what I mean? And so one day I just got fed up, and with me, I'll give people a bit more time to say what they have to say and do what they have to do, more than probably the average person. But one day, she just got on my nerves, to be quite honest. And we went in the kitchen and I just sat and I talked to her and I said to her, I don't like this, I don't like that, blah, blah. And then from that day onwards, she just adjusted straight away straight away from that day to the, well, she's not here anymore, but I just really respected her for that. She adjusted to what I said to her.
Wow, okay. I'm going to ask for some tips in a minute, but okay. For you, Cliff, Marie.
Okay, so Cliff's mum was